What's up, Multiverse? Dr. Dave here. Welcome to the Geek Lounge. So in just under 2.5 weeks time, it is MCM Comic London, without question our biggest con here in the UK. And to give you guys a US equivalent, it's kind of like our NYCC or C2E2, which does actually make sense because all three cons are produced by Repop. And although they have faced criticism the past few years for not having a diverse enough guest list, if you happen to be an anime fan like moi, they always bring some awesome anime guests. And this year is no different. In fact, they have actually brought in some of my dream anime VA guests as we get a bunch of the One Piece crew, including the VAs of the original 5 Straw Hat crew members from the East Blue. And on top of that, there are a bunch of other VAs from both video games and anime attending, along with guests from the Mandalorian, Ted Lasso, and more. And so I intend to get a whole bunch of Funko Pops signed at the event, to the point where if I have my nerd hat on, I'm super duper excited, but if I actually have my accountant hat on, not so much. So with that said, I figured we'd take a look at my current signed Funko Pop collection in today's video, because it's actually been 6 months since the last one, and I'd like to see where my current tally is. Alright, let's kick this off then, and I know these aren't Funko Pops, but I figured I'd share them with you guys because they are pretty cool. The 2 signed U2s that I have in my collection. We got Naruto on the left, signed by Miley Flanagan, and Chainsaw Man on the right, signed by Ryan Colt Levy. Are we gonna get those Chainsaw Man Funko Pop announcements anytime soon? One can hope. On to the Funko Pops then, and I figured the easiest way to do this would be to put them into categories or franchises, and this very first one doesn't fit into anything else I have under the Pop Comedians banner. It is, of course, the one and only Michael McIntyre. Now, some of you might be saying, who on earth is Michael McIntyre? Because I don't think he's quite combated the international market, maybe not so much like Ricky Gervais, but he is a British stand-up comedian, one of the biggest and most popular here in the UK, and this is actually the latest signed Funko Pop I've added to my collection. I'm going to do My Hero Academia next, guys, because fun fact, it includes the first ever Funko Pop I got signed, which is Katsuki Bakugo top left, signed by Clifford Chapin. I should have mentioned this at the start. I'm not going to be reading all the different quotes, otherwise we are going to be here forever. We've got quite a few Funko Pops to get through. Though if you guys are interested in a quote on a particular Funko Pop and can't quite read it in this video, do drop a comment below. I'll be happy to let you guys know what it is. In a few days' time, I will also be posting photos of each of the signed Funko Pops on YouTube. You'll be able to access them on the YouTube community tab, though you can only access that if you are a subscriber. Hint, hint. I'll also be posting these on Instagram. Make sure you go and give us a follow at geeklounge_TV. So carrying on with the My Hero Academia collection then, we have Suyu Asui, signed by Monica Rial, Ochako Uraraka, signed by Lucy Christian, who will be at MCM Comic London, Eri, signed by Emily Neves, Nejire, signed by Lindsay Seidel. Then at the bottom on the left, we've got Hero Killer Stain, signed by Robert McCullum. We've got La Brava, signed by Megan Shipman. She will actually be in the UK once again, not at MCM, but will be attending Anime Con UK in Birmingham in June. She, of course, voices Anya Forger from Spy Family, and she took over the role of Sasha in the final season of Attack on Titan, if anyone's interested in meeting her. I've then got these 2 overhauls signed, the 2-pack there with Tamura Shigaraki, and the single one as well. I will actually be finishing that 2-pack with Shigaraki because his voice actor, Eric Vale, is at MCM Comic London. He also voices my favourite character in One Piece, Sanji. And speaking of One Piece, I do currently only have 2 signed One Piece Funko Pops in my collection. We've got Doflamingo there on the left, signed by Robert McCullum, and Fire Fist Ace on the right, signed by Travis Willingham, but that will of course change by the end of this month. At MCM Comic London, I'll be getting Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Nami, Brooke, and Buggy the Clown all signed, and I will also be trying to get the Going Merry signed by the 5 OG Straw Hat crew members. I'm going to do Naruto next because along with One Piece, that is my joint favourite anime of all time. As you guys can see, I do have 3 Naruto figures signed by Miley Flanagan, who herself is going to be at MCM Comic London at the end of May, if you guys were interested to meet her. I got the Rasengan, Sexy Jutsu, and Hokage Funko Pop signed. I've also got Gaara signed by Liam O'Brien, and Pain the Almighty Push Pop, signed by Troy Baker. And the voice actors of both Ino and Deidara are also attending MCM Comic London. I will definitely be adding those to the signed collection, and hope more Naruto VAs do visit the UK in the near future, so I can add even more. Alright, let's do Demon Slayer next. Who is excited for the Hashira training arc coming this Sunday? I cannot wait, but in terms of the signed Funko Pops, we have Tanjiro Hinekami Kagura, Tanjiro with the water-breathing dragon, and the Tanjiro and Nezuko 2-pack signed by Tanjiro's voice actor. I feel like I said Tanjiro way too many times there, Zach Aguilar. The voice actor for Nezuko, Abby Trott, will actually be at Comic-Con Scotland at the beginning of October. I'm not too sure if I will attend that one though. MCM London's already really expensive. We have an expensive trip planned next year, which I'll get into more later in this video. We've then got Canal signed by Brianna Knickerbocker, Shinobu signed by Erica Harlacker Stone. Then up top, we've got Saname signed by KG Tang, Enmu signed by Landon McDonald, and Muichiro Tokito signed by Griffin Burns. Another incredibly popular anime is of course Jujutsu Kaisen, which won tons at the Anime Awards earlier this year for the brilliant Season 2, though sadly I only have a couple in my collection. We've got the Itadori Black Flash, as well as Itadori and Todo 2-packs signed by Itadori's voice actor Adam MacArthur. There is then the Gojo Con exclusive signed by KG Tang. I really hope we do get more JJK actors visiting the UK in the near future, so I can add more to the signed collection, including that Todo. Xander Mobus actually voices both Todo and Inumaki, and he has also voiced a ton of other characters that have literally had Funko Pop releases the past 12 to 18 months. Alright, hands up, who's excited that we are finally getting a third season of One Punch Man? You guys can't see me at the moment, but I have two hands firmly planted in the air. I cannot wait. It's one of, if not maybe even the funniest anime that I've ever seen. I hope we do get more Funko Pops released for One Punch Man as well, because the collection isn't small. Likewise, my signed One Punch Man collection is also fairly small. We've got Saitama on the left, signed by Max Mittelman, and Genos on the right there, signed by Zach Aguilar. And there is, of course, another anime returning this year, although I guess this is more a sequel series rather than a continuation, although is a sequel technically a continuation? Depends how you look at it. I am, of course, talking about Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, although to be perfectly honest, I have still yet to finish the OG series, but I do have a few signed ones in the collection. We've got Mira Jane signed by Monica Rial, there's Happy signed by Tia Ballard, Frosh signed by Dawn M. Bennett, and Jalal Fernandez signed by Robert McCullum. I will also be getting to add Urza into this because her voice actor, Colleen Klinkenberg, of course the voice actor of Luffy, is, as I've already mentioned, at MCM Comic London, and hopefully we do get more Fairy Tail actors coming in the near future. And sadly, one anime that it doesn't seem will be returning to our screens anytime soon is Hunter x Hunter. Absolutely gutting for me. I freaking love this anime. Honestly, if it was further along, if it was like finished, it may even be competing with the likes of Naruto and One Piece as my favorite anime of all time. That is how much I love it. It's definitely in my top 5, maybe even in my top 3. Never really done a ranking. It is, of course, notoriously known though that the creator Yoshihiro Togashi has severe back pain, health issues, etc, so that's just why it's taken so long. I mean, I think it's been 10 years, right, since the anime finished, and that was like the second version of it. They'd made one already and then made another, and that finished 10 years ago. I hope it does come back though. As I said, I am a huge fan. Funko Pop wise, I do only have 3 signed at the moment. We've got my boy Killer Zoldyck, definitely my favorite character from the show, signed by the wonderful Christina V, who is going to be at MCM Comic London, by the way, if anyone does want to meet her. I've got Kiropika signed by Erica Harlacker Stone, and Hisoka signed by Keith, Silverstein or Silverstein. I've never actually known how you do pronounce his surname. We are, of course, getting more Hunter x Hunter Pops coming. Well, I think they've just released, actually. We've had the whole Phantom Troop just come out, which is very, very cool. Do still need to pick those up. And in terms of adding more signed ones to the collection, there are 2 more Hunter x Hunter voice actors coming to MCM Comic London. We've got Ryan Bartley, who voices Komagi, and there's also Robbie Damon, who voices Crollo, so I'll be definitely adding those to the signed collection. And I've got 2 more signed anime Funko Pops to share with you guys. I've decided to group them together because I don't actually have any other signed ones in each franchise. We've got Julius there on the left from Black Clover. Let me just share this with you guys as well. It was the first Julius Funko Pop he actually signed in all of Europe. I say he, I don't think I even told you. Signed by the voice actor Robert McCullum. I think that was pretty cool. Not necessarily the first British or European to own a signed Julius. Maybe someone got one in the States, but definitely the first one one he ever signed in the whole of Europe, which I think is pretty cool. Maybe you guys will disagree. And then on the right, we have Toru Honda, one of my 3 waifus, if you guys were interested, from Fruits Basket, signed by the wonderful and legendary Laura Bailey. Now, I said I don't actually own any other signed ones from either franchise, but that will actually change come the end of this month. I already mentioned Eric Vale was at MCM Comic London. He does voice Yuki in Fruits Basket, so I'll be adding that one to the Fruits Basket signed collection. And then from Black Clover, the legendary Chris Sabat, of course, voices Yami, and Colleen Klinkenberg does also voice Charlotte, so I'll be adding those to the Black Clover signed Funko Pop collection. I figured I'd do this one by itself because it doesn't really fit into any other kind of category. I guess it's like pop animation, right? It is, of course, Miles Morales from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, signed by the voice actor Shameik Moore. And if you guys were thinking that looks like a pretty weak signature, I would definitely agree with you, one of the weakest ones in the game. And I just actually thought these are, of course, pop animation from the legendary Avatar franchise. And we, of course, had news this year that we're going to be getting more Avatar The Last Airbender, right? We did, of course, have the Netflix live action, which I've still yet to watch. Heard a bit of mixed reviews on it, but I'll certainly decide that for myself when I do finally get round to watching it. But I believe there's going to be like an animated movie or something, which will like continue the story of Aang and the gang. Cannot wait for that. In terms of the signed Funko Pops, I have them from Avatar The Last Airbender. There is Zuko, signed by Dante Basco, Kyoshi, signed by the legendary voice actor Jennifer Hale, and then from The Legend of Korra, we do have Korra herself, signed by Janet Varney. Next up, we got some Critical Role Vox Machina, and although it has its own animated series, the Pops are actually under the game banner. By the way, is there any news on the 3rd season of Vox Machina? I feel like I've heard nothing. The first 2 seasons came out in January of 2022, and then January of 2023, at least I think they did, and just nothing for season 3 this year. If there's any news, someone drop a comment below. As for the Pops I've got signed, there is Grog, signed by Travis Willingham, Keeliv, signed by Marisha Ray, Percival DeRollo III, signed by Taliesin Jaffe, Scanlan, signed by Sam Riegel, Vex, signed by Laura Bailey, and Vax, signed by Liam O'Brien. The Critical Role crew did actually come to MCM Comic London last year. I was fortunate enough to meet these 6 wonderful people, but sadly I did not get to meet either Matt Mercer or Ashley Johnson. For Matt, I probably wouldn't have got the Trinket Funko Pop signed, to be honest, but definitely Trafalgar Law from One Piece and Levi from Attack on Titan. And as for Ashley Johnson, it does mean that I don't have Pike Trickfoot signed, and I probably also would have got an Ellie Funko Pop picked up to get that signed as well, because that would have gone very nicely with my Joel Funko Pop from The Last of Us, signed by Troy Baker. I figured I'd just group a few more of the signed game Funko Pops together. We've got Master Chief from Halo, signed by the longtime voice actor Steve Downs, Geralt from The Witcher, signed by the longtime voice actor Doug Cockle, as well as Panther from Persona 5, signed by the voice actor Erica Harlacher Stone. And I do certainly need to get some more signed gaming Funko Pops into the collection, because I love my gaming. And although Pokemon does fall under the Pop Games line, all of the ones I've got signed are by voice actors from the anime. We've got the starter Pokemon Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander, signed by the OG Ash Ketchum voice actor herself, Veronica Taylor. And then up top, we do have Mewtwo, signed by the voice actor from the first movie, Jay Good. Or it may actually be pronounced Jay Goad. You guys may also see there, aka Philip Bartlett. I think he went by both names, and I also think he may have voiced the character in another 1 or 2 movies. If you guys have watched my channel before, you'll know that I'm a pretty big wrestling fan, though I do only have 3 signed wrestling Funko Pops in the collection, all from the WWE range. They are by the same person as well, WWE Hall of Famer and the hardcore legend Mick Foley, of the 3 characters that he portrayed in his career: Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love. If you did want to meet him, he is actually returning to the UK this year. I'm not 100% sure if he's attending Comic-Con Northern Ireland in September. I think he is, but I know for sure he is attending Comic-Con Scotland at the beginning of October, unless of course something does change. I for sure though know I need to get more signed WWE Funko Pops into my collection. And I actually forgot to mention that every single signed Funko Pop from here on out, apart from the final category, is live action. That will make a little bit more sense once we do get to that final category. Speaking of which, I don't actually own any other signed Harry Potter Funko Pops, so figured we'd do this one by itself. Bellatrix Lestrange, signed by the one and only Helena Bonham Carter, who actually came to her very first Comic-Con last year, Comic-Con Liverpool, and to my knowledge, she hasn't done one since, so I was very happy to pick this up and definitely want to get get more signed Harry Potter Funko Pops into the collection. Likewise, this one doesn't really fit with anything else. I don't believe I've got any other signed movie Funko Pops, and certainly don't have any other signed DC Funko Pops, but here we have Shazam signed by the actor Zachary Levi. This was from the second movie, which I still haven't seen. I know a lot of people said it was rubbish. I absolutely loved the first movie and I thought he was great for the role. Don't know if he's going to be able to continue with it. I guess only time will tell, but yeah, happy to have got the Funko Pop signed. On some TV then, guys, and first up, one of my favourite TV shows of all time, Sons of Anarchy. We've got Jax Teller signed by Charlie Hunnam and O.P. Winston signed by Ryan Hurst. I hope Funko do make some more Sons of Anarchy Funko Pops. There are only 4 in the collection. There's also Clay Morrow, played of course by Ron Perlman. He has actually visited the UK a bunch of times over the years, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get that one eventually. And then of course his wife in the show, Gemma Teller Morrow, played by Katie Siegel, who did actually just come to the UK. She was at Comic-Con Liverpool this past weekend. She may not visit again for a little while, but hopefully I can get both those signed in the somewhat near future. And then yeah, as I said, Funko, please do make more Sons of Anarchy characters. I do also have a near-complete signed Funko Pop collection from Vikings. On the left there, we've got Rolo, signed by Clive Standen. On the right, Floki, signed by Gustav Skarsgård. And in the middle, Lagertha, signed by Catherine Winnick. If you guys were wondering why I've left her in the Protector, guys, she is like well and truly wedged in there. I've got a certificate of authenticity at the back. Don't know if I'm ever going to get her out. I do also own Ragnar Lothbrok, so I am begging Travis Fimmel to come to the UK so I can get that signed. Yes, I don't have the and would I am I bothered to get that one signed? Maybe if I was to get Ragnar Lothbrok, but I guess only time will tell. Also earlier I did say that Shamik Moore had one of the weakest signatures in the game for Miles Morales. I have to say though, Gustav Skarsgård there on the right, signed Floki, one of the best signatures in the game. What do you guys think? We're going to do some Walking Dead next, and believe it or not, guys, these are the only 4 that I have signed in my collection. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't have a massive Walking Dead collection in general. I've got a few others like outside of these signed ones, but definitely not the majority of what is a very big collection. I don't know why. Was a huge fan of the show, huge a fan of the comic books, so yeah, I just never really got round to grabbing them, or was just collecting other things, but definitely want to pick more up. Definitely want to get more signed because a lot of the actors are now doing cons now that like the main show is over. I know a bunch of them are going to be at Comic-Con Manchester, for instance, over here in the UK in July, if you guys did want to meet some of them. As for the ones that I have signed, there is Carl signed by Chandler Riggs, Ezekiel signed by Corey Payton, Jesus signed by Tom Payne, and Dwight signed by Austin Emilio. Another one of my favorite TV shows, guys, is The Boys. I freaking love this show. I was a huge fan of the comic books. Garth Ennis, the co-creator, the writer of that series, like arguably my favorite comic book writer of all time, and the adaptation they've done I think is absolutely amazing. It's quite different to the comic book, some similarities but a lot of differences as well. I still recommend you guys check out the comic book if you love the series. So as for the ones that I've got signed, Mother's Milk there signed by Laz Alonso, Homelander himself signed by Anthony Starr, The Deep, that's actually the con exclusive as well, pardon me, signed by Chase Crawford, and A-Train signed by Jesse T. Usher. I do believe Jesse and Laz were going to be attending some UK Comic-Cons this year, but I think they've pulled out of like one of the shows, or at least one of them's pulled out. I can't entirely remember. I definitely want to get more of these signed, so I definitely need more of the actors to come over. I know Jensen Ackles is at Comic-Con Scotland. He's normally always very busy, or gets like sold out very quickly. He did of course play Soldier Boy. And another favourite show of mine, and certainly one of the most popular in recent times, Stranger Things. Bottom left then, we've got Susie signed by Gabriella Pizzolo. In the middle, Dustin signed by Gator Matarazzo. And bottom right, Alexi signed by Alec Utgoff. Then top left, we've got Nancy signed by Natalia Dyer. Jonathan there in the middle, signed by Charlie Heaton. And then Argyle there, top right, signed by Eduardo Franco. I definitely want to add more signed Stranger Things Funko Pops to the collection. I was actually a bit surprised this past weekend at Liverpool Comic-Con, we didn't have any Stranger Things guests, at least not to my recollection. Normally, every Comic-Con Liverpool, there is at least one Stranger Things guest. Maybe we'll be getting more in October. guys, we have reached our final category, and it is of course Star Wars. I've decided to split this into two though, so we're going to do animated and video games first, and then live action shortly after this. So who do we have then? Right at the bottom, you guys can see I did actually get my Bad Batch 5-pack signed by D. Bradley Baker, who of course voiced all 5 of those characters: Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, and Echo. And then up top on the left, Michelle Ang signed my Omega Funko Pop as well. Bad Batch just finished last week. Let me know you guys' thoughts. Did you enjoy the finale? I thought it was pretty cool. Like, it was a little bit slow in the beginning, but I definitely liked the ending and certainly enjoyed the show overall across its 3 seasons. We've then got Darth Maul from the Clone Wars signed by Sam Witwer, Bastilla Shan signed by Jennifer Hale. I really hope we do get more news of the Knights of the Old Republic remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. And then lastly, we have Cal Kestis signed by Cameron Monaghan, who of course voiced the character in the Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. I couldn't actually remember the name of the first game. Still need to play the second one though, but it has just come on Game Pass, so I will definitely be checking that out. Here we go then, guys. These are the last of my signed Funko Pops in my collection currently. Bottom left then, we've got Moff Gideon signed by the one and only Giancarlo Esposito. Bottom right, we've got Axe Woes signed by Simon Cassianidis. Top left, we've got General Grievous signed by Matthew Wood. Top right, we've got Fennec Shan signed by Ming-Na Wen. Top center, we got Ahsoka Tano signed by Rosario Dawson. And then bottom center, guys, this is probably the most cherished piece in my signed Funko Pop collection. The Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader 2-pack signed by both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. And I will actually be able to add some more signed Star Wars Funko Pops to the collection at MCM Comic Con. I think I mentioned earlier there will be some Mandalorian actors there. Emily Swallow, who of course is the Armorer, will be in attendance. So too will be Brendan Wayne, who is actually the man in the Mandalorian Din Djarin's armor, right? Yes, it's not Pedro Pascal, but it's still pretty cool that Brendan Wayne is coming, so I'll be definitely getting a Din Djarin Mandalorian Funko Pop signed by him. And I'm undecided whether I'll be going to this one or not, but there is the Star Fury Invasion 2024 convention happening at the end of June in Birmingham here in the UK, where a bunch of the Ahsoka actors are in attendance, minus Rosario Dawson. And if you guys have watched this video all the way through, firstly, thank you so much. I cannot appreciate you enough, but you may recall me saying that we have a big trip planned for next year. Guys, we are heading to Star Wars Celebration in Japan. I cannot wait. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime trip. It's been a dream of mine for about 4 or 5 years to go. You know, being able to combine my 2 favorite loves of anime and Star Wars, that's just amazing, while also getting to, of course, enjoy and experience the Japanese culture and cuisine. I just cannot wait. And well, guys, that is my complete signed Funko Pop collection. Things are a little bit precarious here, so I am a little bit worried. But it gives us a total count currently of 93 signed Funko Pops. And I joke you not, by the end of this month, that number will probably be somewhere around 140. And well, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me here on the Geek Lounge. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop some comments below. What signed Funko Pops do you guys have in your collection? What's a dream Funko Pop you would love to get signed? And will I see any of you at MCM Comic London? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, we've got plenty more content on the way for you guys. Usual Funko, Lego, statues, figures, and TCGs all incoming. Speaking of which, I'll be opening up another Demon Slayer Warpath TCG booster box this coming Saturday to celebrate the release of the latest season of the Demon Slayer anime, the Hashira training arc, which kicks off on Sunday. Cannot wait for that. Then we've got tons of Funko Pop videos coming over the next couple of weeks as well. I need to spruce up the display behind me, kind of change it up, put some different signed ones in that you guys have seen today. Same with the one in the other room. You guys will also get to see some of my collection that is buried in behind. We've got MCM Comic Con, just tons of content on the way. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all of it and more. What is the easiest way to stay tuned, you ask? You already know. Subscribe, hit click, smash that subscribe button and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching today's video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds.